हाय गाइस, डीप टॉक में आज बहुत ही खास मेहमान है मेरे पास. वेरी वेरी स्पेशल गेस्ट. I'll just I played this for 3 seconds and you know who it is. Well, you also know who it is because you can see him. I have with me Lucky Ali, who is a singer, actor, philosopher, I think also, and somebody who I have always found very inspirational. मेरे को हमेशा से inspirational लगे हैं ये. एंड क्योंकि ये मोटिवेशन चैनल है, यहाँ आप सब यंग लोग आते हो कुछ सीखने के लिए, लाइफ में कैसे आगे बढ़ना है, कैसे जीना है, कैसे सीखना है, सब कुछ क्या आउटलुक रखना है. तो मुझे लगा ही इज अ वंडरफुल पर्सन टू टॉक टू. ओनली थिंग इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गेट होल्ड ऑफ हिम, बट ये दुआ है कि ये मिल गए मुझे. और अभी अगेन ही इज गोना स्टार्ट ट्रैवलिंग वेरी सून, सो आई जस्ट गॉट हिम today. So thank you so much, Lucky, for coming to my channel.
Greetings to everyone here, and I started with a prayer
हाँ,
because
but वो क्या था इसका मतलब, जरा translate it.
Rahman Rahim basically means I start my this thing in Allah's name, and I prayed for blessings on our holy prophet who brought this message to us. And then I asked Allah also for help because I sometimes, you don't know what you speak, and I don't say or, imply anything that's probably not, generally peaceful. So
Wow.
this is what it is about.
That's a wonderful prayer. You've always been a believer, or you've become closer to God now? You always have been like this?
Well, in my early years, I've searched because although I was brought up I was born in a Muslim family, and my I've had my influences have been because I had a Jewish mother, second mother.
Wow.
And then and I also had a Pashtun mother. My real mother was Pashtun. So and my father and his family are from the south of India, and they're from one of the old families that came into India many eons ago. And but for all purposes, I am and we are basically from where we come from. Yeah.
अब हम शुरू करते हैं आपकी जर्नी. I really, like I said, I'm interested in you. Your music is well known and a lot of videos are there, so it's not about the music as much as the person. So suppose करिए कि आपकी लाइफ पे बायोपिक बन रही है अभी. हाँ, तो आप जब छोटे थे, let's start from there. You are like 8 to 10 years old, and feel free to use Hindi English mix. We have an audience, they just want to learn. So आप जब 8-10 साल के थे, I think you were born. I think everybody knows this. Your dad was a comedian, Mahmood, who was a big comedian. But you were one of 9 siblings. Am I right?
No, we were 8.
8. Okay, I'm so sorry. How was that? 8 लोगों के साथ घर में. Was it like fun? Was it crowded? Was it annoying? Was it like a lot of like what? Because आजकल तो हमें वो देखने को मिलता ही नहीं ना, ऐसी family.
We were a joint family, but I spent most of my time in boarding school, Missouri. My father
कितनी
was
एज
a
पे आप
very
गए?
famous. I went around somewhere around. I must have been a little bit more than 3.
And you went to boarding school?
When I went there, I went to boarding school. So I was in kindergarten for 2 years, and it was a convent school in Missouri. So, but yeah, but it was a very small. What do you call it? I mean, it was there. Something that I didn't know, but it was good for me. Whatever happened was good.
What was good about being to boarding school so early?
I think everything was good if you just sit down and just try to analyze things. जो भी हो चुका है अच्छे के लिए हो चुका है, जो भी हो रहा है अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है, और जो भी कल होने जाएगा वो भी अच्छे के लिए ही होगा.
That's your philosophy in life, is it? That's how you tried.
My understanding of this thing, not that you're in control of so many things. So you don't need to be in control of because nature has control. You basically try to understand the nature and try to work with the nature that has been provided to you, and function basically. So that's
जो आपने बोला, इनफैक्ट इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग, आई एम श्योर यू नो दिस, कि गीता में भी ये एक लाइन है, जो हुआ अच्छा
yes.
हुआ, जो हो रहा है अच्छा हो रहा है, आगे के लिए भी अच्छा होगा. सो आई थिंक इट्स काइंड ऑफ मे बी ऑल
30.
स्पिरिचुअल. हाँ, they all kind of converge in a way. They're all telling us the same message in a way.
Consciousness that's very much part of our upbringing in our environment, in our country, our environment, and that's yeah, that's a blessing. I feel, to be able to have all that sabhyata within us.
And when you were growing up, did you have ambition? Did you have a, we all go through, कोई सब pilot बनना चाहते हैं, कोई cricketer बनना चाहता है, like did you have any of these, what was the first memories ki I
I
wanted to be
wanted,
this?
I wanted
uh,
to join it,
Navy.
basically. Yeah.
I did too,
So
actually. It's, yeah, I had a big fascination for ships and all. Yeah.
yeah, and my first birthday cake that I was allowed to, design was a ship. I wanted a ship, and my first art project also was a ship.
Because you are a singer who sings very romantic songs sometimes. When was the first crush? Like what, around when? You don't have to give me full details, or you can if you, but like when was the
Oh, I
first time
can.
you, huh?
In boarding school, of course.
Okay.
There used to be this very. I mean, we went to school. She was a day scholar, but I was a boarder, and she used to come first in class, and I used to come basically towards the end of the class, like
Okay.
last. But there was this beach mate. There was Mukesh Kandhari, who used to also come first in my class. So everybody paired, generally Mukesh Kandhari and Sumita Bahuguna, together. But she used to like, like smile and all that stuff. So um, yeah, we were very innocent. And then the nuns, like, someone said, "Oh, they're going to go and get married now." We were just very 8 years old.
Oh, acha, you're talking
Yes.
8. Okay.
Yeah. We would stand up on our chairs, and I was so ashamed. And I felt sorry for Sumita because she was, because it was not anything like that. You understand what I mean? And
Awesome.
and then she never came to school after that. She just never came to school after that.
Wow.
I never saw her after that. That was the fifth standard.
I just want to know, what is money to you?
It is a necessity
Hmm.
function, you understand, but it's not the all and be all of everything.
You
To
never
strike
measured
that
your
balance.
success with money. मैंने इतने पैसे बना लिए, मेरे को और बनाना है.
I never made money in this field, because I worked very less, you know,
Hmm.
and uh, I had no great management. I didn't have a social media platform that was functioning to keep my whatever they call the brand. But I didn't look at it like that. I just looked at it as I got to sing and I got to like spread it. You understand? That's just that
Hmm.
motivation was, and going to places was a great experience. Like we've been to Australia and we've been, so be it, for a very small gig, but we enjoyed
Right.
that. I did
Hmm.
big gigs like where hundreds of thousands of people. But I got those numbers in the first initial stages,
Hmm.
uh, Channel V and MTV. You understand?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
their explosion was there, there
I
was
will
a
tell
lot
you
of.
my personal experience with your songs also. I will tell you that. But tell me about this Sham Benegal's thing. So you did the 4 year thing, and then the song came. Like you felt your dad. Was that music thing to?
After Sham Benegal, I decided that there was this friend of mine who was a good guitarist, and he had worked on an oil rig off the coast of Bombay.
Hmm.
And I listened to his stories, and I was fascinated by the fact that, man, go on oil rig, and so I decided that I will go on an oil rig, you know,
Wow, yeah, I was.
and I
You are
went.
like, you get fascinated by a story. You're like, oil rig chal padte hain.
Yeah, but that was something that I needed to do because it was just like so different from anything that I would have ever done. You know what I mean? So I went to a place in Chennai, which was a recruiting agency. I looked up an advertisement like, needed rustabouts. When an oil rig platform
Hmm.
advertises you need work, people who will work there. So they needed some kind of, staff there. So I went to this place called Atwood Oceanics, which had an office which was working with a company called Great Eastern Shipping, an
Hmm.
Indian company,
It's a
and
big company. Yeah. Hmm.
they were prospecting for oil off the coast of Pondicherry.
Okay.
So I remember the guy who was there was a British guy, Paul Lamb, and he says, "You're gonna like go work on an oil rig." I mean, it looked like the type, I mean, that I would work.
Yeah.
I look more like I've come out from the film industry, and like my demeanor was that.
Hmm.
So I said, "Yeah, I want to go to the oil rig," and then I was given a job, and then this was so many years ago, man, more than 25, 30 years ago, you know, and I remember I had to take the boat from Chennai port,
Hmm.
you know. That was an experience because the whole boat, and I was the only person in that boat, big one, tugboat, which takes supplies to the oil rig. So it was a
Hmm.
night's journey all the way to Pondicherry from Madras. And early in the morning, when I saw there was that oil rig sitting in front of me, and I had this guitar in my hand, and and the oil rig guys, I met so many of my friends, Bosco and all that stuff from there. So they said, yeah, when we saw you for the first time, oh, cowboy has come. So, yeah, and then I just was on the sea. I mean, it was a different life,
Hmm.
and it was hard work. Like
What
you
exactly did you do?
make
What
pipes.
exactly do you do
Well,
on
I
a?
started for shipping tanks. You know, so you'd go
Hmm.
into the ballast tanks, and then you chip them.
Literally scrubbing, like in like.
You have those needle guns,
Hmm.
you know.
Oh wow.
So you'd have to go into these, tanks that were
Huh.
and took the rust, and then you had to prime them, and then you had to epoxy them. That epoxy used to get you so like blown, Yeah. So they used to have,
This is pretty. It's like heavy manual labor stuff, right?
and then I went on to the rig floor where I started making and breaking what do you call pipes, to send down into the
Hmm. It's ocean bed or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So were the companies like Schlumberger who were
Hmm.
part of the
They
explosion
do
that,
the yeah. Yeah.
but they only struck water there. We didn't get any
I know.
oil,
There's no oil in Pondicherry.
fresh water in the middle of the sea. We were
Oh
14 on the coast, and every night I could see Auroville, from
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I think, man, I mean, it's just there, but you couldn't go there because there were sharks, and I mean, there was all that kind. We had the drills of getting onto the lifeboats, but my most fun experience on this thing was to go onto the helipad, and strum my guitar there and try to see what I feel because music was already there. I was
Hmm.
already singing. I was already, but people, when I was singing, people were laughing.
Oh
My
really?
friends.
People used to
Yeah,
tu baskar like that.
yeah, literally, like shut up, Lucky. It was like that. Like
Yeah.
I feel like
God. I mean,
it's,
hmm.
uh,
So
but
when this
then
is happening, but you still, but people are saying, but you still sang because why I'm asking this is a lot of kids, a lot of young people who are watching. अगर कोई वो कुछ करना चाहते हैं, let's say they want to be a painter, sculptor, singer, whatever it is, writer, and they don't like whatever their support group or whatever the people around them, they mock them, they make fun of them, take them too casually, and they say, you know what, maybe this is not for me, I'll just quit. But that feeling never came to you. You sang because you sang.
because I love to sing. I mean, I was not singing for them. I was singing for me. You understand what made me feel good and made
Hmm.
me, generally vibe in the way that I vibe. Because if I made good music and I felt good, or if I sang something that I liked, or the tune or whatever. My first album was solo, right? And I had these songs, and I used to stay with my dad at that time, and there were these two people who came from England, and they said, "You make a good singer," and I didn't quite understand why would
Hmm.
they don't even know me, but they say something profound, So Nitin Dabade, he's a big event manager now in England. Um, so he says, if you come to England, we'll record you. You know,
Hmm.
somewhere people must have given them the impression that I was, into singing or something, but I
Hmm.
was never vocal about it. It was never,
Hmm.
um, and this was all after Sham Babu and
Hmm.
what do you call the oil rigs and all that stuff. So I was just trying to find a place to, where did I fit? I didn't really fit anywhere, so it was a very confusing time for me for a long time. I mean,
Hmm.
till I got married. And because हमारे में ऐसा था, if you're not earning, बीवी को कहाँ से support करेगा? That was my father.
आज भी है सर, आज भी है वो.
So my father always discouraged me from getting married till you didn't earn a
Hmm.
proper. And his thing of earning was industry. You understand? You make your money in the industry if you have to earn. If you're good, you're good. And he says, don't worry about success or failure. You just need an artist needs 2 minutes, or even 1 minute, or even just for him to be noticed. He can do something that is so special. That doesn't really
Hmm.
matter the depth of the scene of the. There's an artist who has something to express. He will in that given time. So don't look for heroes roles. And then Chatterjee told me, don't ever do villains roles, please. So that's how basically how it, so I got
Hmm.
very confused here. And I didn't want to be, if you had green eyes, then you were a villain, so.
हाँ, उस टाइम का सिनेमा था ना वो ऐसा.
No,
So
and I used to say, man, ठीक है.
so then so you went to England and recorded Suno?
Yeah, I was married. I got married.
Hmm.
Um, and then I decided that now I've got a wife. So I got to like do something. Best thing that I can do is music.
Hmm.
And I was passionate about it. And I was convinced about what I was doing. So I took the step. I went to England and I went to Nitin Dabade and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So when I started doing Suno, it was with an African band. I started
Okay.
off with an African, and I love the vibe that we were getting. So I used them a lot in Cipher. I could not use them in this.
Hmm.
The first one, I had no budgets, no nothing. I just wanted to record, and the songs were ready.
When did you know, Lucky, that boss, this is big?
I didn't know. I actually ran away from here with my wife. I said, "Man, now I've done what I had to do. If
Ah,
this works, this works. Otherwise, we go and get a job." I was a horseman, so I said, I'll take up a job on a horse farm, and then we went looking for jobs for me
really?
on a
And so the
horse.
song is releasing in India, and you are like going to horse farms. कि भाई नौकरी
Yeah,
चाहिए. Wow.
I didn't think that it would do anything. I just left it to nature, and then some big music directors at that time before I left, uh, I really got frustrated because what they say, we give you a book, where you can then learn to sing from the book. So I really thought there's a book that will help you to sing,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I was willing to like get that book if there was a book such as that. But then the humility of that big music director was that he called me and told me, "This song is so big, and I want to I want to apologize to you."
Wow.
And I wept at that time. I didn't know why, but I'm an emotional guy, but he was my father's age person, what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and I'll never forget that. So that's what
That's
drew
when
me
you
back.
knew. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I knew. And what drew me back was the humility of the populace that I had left.
This whole thing of you saying doing it because you want to create it, doing anything, it's not just for music. This can apply to anything you do, any job you're doing,
Yeah.
right? You have to give your
I've seen,
passion to it.
I've seen, I've seen academics, from IIT, big
Hmm.
guys, like, I mean, and they just leave all that and go and help in a village, and they could live a very, well-paid academic life in India or abroad, but they've chosen, like, to go out into, and these are big people. These are not like your,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
they
I know.
talk, There are lots of them in India, I mean, and selfless workers, go beyond the regular thing, and I've had the pleasure of seeing and meeting individuals such as these. So, they put you in your place. They give you a good life lesson. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's good to look at the things that probably may not seem too interesting, but actually hold a lot of value. Great value for future progress.
What makes you happy, Lucky?
Everything and nothing.
Okay, that's deep. And what does
Yeah.
that like? Would you elaborate on that? Like, what does that mean?
Yes. Well, you want to be in between happiness and sadness, the two extremes. You want to be in a state of joy, which
Hmm.
accepts both happiness and accepts both your sadness. That's part of the growth, that's part of the journey.
What about health? You're very fit, and you take care of your health. And you mentioned in other places that take care of your health. You tell people take care of your health. Talk to me about that. What is your fitness routine? What do you eat? What do you sleep? Whatever's mental, physical. How do you look at that health aspect?
Of late, I've been sleeping late.
Hmm.
That's because I'm traveling and then getting used to just the time back or the energy that you're coming down from. And I feel that I need to travel more now, more than ever. I want to go and sing anywhere and everywhere,
Hmm.
wherever it's possible. Uh, in terms of my health, I'm not a big foodie, like in that sense. My children are, but I like any food that I mean, it should be attractive, it should be fresh, it should be natural, and uh, although we do eat meat, I'm not a great meat fan, especially I'm not a chicken fan, you know.
Hmm.
And I prefer seafood, like what comes out of the sea. Um,
Okay.
and yeah,
Do you eat carbs, sweets? Do you eat all that?
I eat mithai like crazy, man. I mean,
Really? What
I
is your
have mithai.
weakness? What is your weakness in mithai or
No,
whatever?
no, but I go on binges, like I'll go on gulab jamun binge, or I'll go on your,
Chalo, that is something we have in common.
Indian sweets. Nobody can match them. Now just think of
Ah,
that big dabba here, and since you've just talked to me, I'm going to get one
get.
sweetened.
And and now that we've finished our discussion, any song you want. I don't want to be the one. You any song which you like, and if you want to get, do you need to get a guitar or something? I can wait for that.
I just sing it like that, man. I'm so sorry, but I'll sing it like that. But
बट
it's
पहले मिठाई खा
basically
लो आप कोई बात नहीं. It's
उसके
okay.
बाद
अच्छा ठीक है.
मिलेगी मिलेगी मंजिल चल के कहीं दूर आए हैं चले जाने को आए हैं चले जाएंगे दूर मजबूर मिलेगी मिलेगी
Thank you.
तो
And I didn't even tell you, but you have chosen a song called Milegi Milegi Manzil, which is so apt for this channel. We tell people, and you've said, follow your heart. And it's okay if you think differently, but just follow your heart even when things are not working out, or Milegi Milegi Manzil. And you'll at least be happy and authentic. Yeah, you were going to say something. This is beautiful song, by the
yeah,
way.
it's just about your journey. If you
Mhm.
can be fine with I mean, if you can have a good journey, inshallah, you know, you should not worry about what the goal will be. The nature will take care of that.
Yeah.
And always be grateful to your creator who, you know, your creator, my creator, the same creator, you know, but be aware of him. He's just not some story in some kind of a storybook. There's a reality. And yeah, so stay well and, give lots of love wherever you are. to the best of your ability. It's a butterfly effect. When the butterfly
Hmm.
flaps wings here, there's a tornado that happens in South America. So everything has, every action has an equal reaction.
I have interviewed many people. I told you earlier, a lot of new India's big achievers, internet billionaires, startup company CEOs, actors. And I mean, they are amazing and they are a different kind of interview. But how can I say it? You have so much inner
I'm the
peace.
freak of the show.
No. I was coming on the
Mhm.
peace aspect of it. They have a lot of amazing lessons to share, but you have this inner peace in you, which is so much now that you are radiating inner peace. I'm feeling peace. And my summary is, I don't know who I like, what I like more now, Lucky Ali's music or Lucky Ali the person,
Yeah.
because I think I know you and I would love to be like you. Because as a person, I can never sing like you, but this mental attitude, it doesn't matter. And you just stay that, keep that equilibrium, protecting that equilibrium at any cost, not going after the rat race and still producing magic. And I think that is the secret, that it's still around. I mean, it's not just a chance that one interview or anything can do it. You have what is missing in society today.
Don't say I'm the missing link between man and ape.
No, you're not the missing link. You're the missing link between man and a
Between man
spiritual
and ape,
man and spiritual evolution of man. We
we're all,
lose
we're
track.
all, we all have the ability, and we all have the good sense, you know, to,
Hmm,
lean that. And गिरेगा नहीं तो उठेगा नहीं. So
hmm.
don't be afraid to fall, you know, उठो,
और गिरेंगे और
जब तक
उठेंगे.
कि उठ सकते.
I genuinely feel privileged and honored to be alive and to have reached this point in my life that I can actually do this and put this out there. Today, I normally people are addicted to the phone in a bad way, but I think this today technology allows कि ये जो हमारी दोनों की आज बातचीत है, ये documented forever है. ये हमारी दोस्ती की एक छोटा सा evidence है और hopefully लोगों को जाने
I
से
remember
पहले.
when you first come with your book, first
Hmm.
time I met you in Bombay,
Bombay, yeah.
initially. Yeah, that's where I met you first. I remember that. So yeah, you do raise up relevance in your articles and stuff like that, and I do read that, and
Thank
that's
you.
why I had no issues like having a talk with you, because many times, you're talking interviews and you're just going through them, and nobody. Uh, I think it's just the pressure of the work.
Hmm.
There's more to, or you can leave that aside, and there's other things too. You know, शख्सियत में पर्दे बहुत होते हैं.
No, definitely. And I told you, there is no time limit. There is no rapid fire round happening here. And there's none of that stuff happening. And people who come here, listen. आप लोगों को अगर अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज कमेंट करिए, लाइक करिए, अपने थॉट्स बताइए क्या लगा लकी से आपको देख के इतनी देर. बिकॉज आई एम श्योर यू हैव योर ओन थिंग्स. लाइक आई सेड, ही इज एन आर्टिस्ट एंड saint mixed together. His music was wonderful. I have made cassette tapes of his and given to girls, and that has helped me. So thank you very much. मेरा तो नहीं कुछ नहीं होना था. But and I've taken
सबका.
two. And I've taken time, and I've also taken time away from your son, who, poor thing. I mean, it's so sweet. He called you twice, so please apologize to him from my behalf. I'll send you the link. And आप प्लीज जब भी आपके कॉन्सर्ट्स हो, आप कहीं ना कहीं किसी सोशल मीडिया पे प्लीज डाल दिया करो. हम सारे पहुंच जाएंगे वहां पे, आप डोंट वरी. बट वी नीड टू नो कि हो रहा है. अगर आप बताते ही नहीं हो तो फिर हमें निकल जाता है. बट थैंक यू सो मच.